Hello, physical science students. In this next homework that you're going to do, you also have to solve some kinetic energy questions in addition to gravitational potential energy. So my previous video talked about how you set up and solve gravitational potential energy guess method questions. Let's talk about how you set up and solve kinetic energy guess method questions. So in our practice problem, a 55 kilogram jogger is running down the road at 3 meters per second, and we want to find out what's the jogger's kinetic energy. Again, I got two givens. First given, 55 kilograms. So since I'm measuring something in kilograms, I know that's a mass. I'm just going to put M for mass. And I'm running down the road at 3 meters per second, or more accurately, the jogger is running down the road at 3 meters per second. 3 meters per second, that's a velocity or a speed. That's how fast the jogger is going. Our unknown, well, the problem says, what's the jogger's kinetic energy? So I'm just going to put KE for kinetic energy equals question mark. And again, our equation from the notes that you guys took at the start of chapters 14 and 15, our kinetic energy equation looked something kind of like this. We had KE for kinetic energy up on top, down below 1/2 mv squared. Again, since all three of those things in the bottom of our equation circle are next to each other, that means we're going to multiply them together. So my equation for kinetic energy is 1/2 times mass times velocity squared. So for the first S, substitute, I'm just going to take my numbers from the givens and plug them into the equation. So the 1/2, just going to leave that as 1/2. Mass, that's 55. And then velocity squared. My velocity is 3, and don't forget I got to square that. So that just means multiply it by itself. So if you want, you could write it like that. Velocity times velocity, velocity squared. Again, it's probably helpful to have a calculator. So for the 1/2, I think you guys know what this decimal turns into when you turn it into a fraction. That's 0.5 times my mass, 55, times my velocity squared. So I'm going to do 0.5 times 55 times 3, and I get about 247.5. So there's my solution. But again, what's the unit that goes with it? Well, in the last video, we said the unit that goes with potential energy was joules. And the nice thing about that is it doesn't matter what type of energy you're measuring, if it's potential energy, if it's kinetic energy, if it's anything else, as long as it's an energy, it's measured in that unit, joules. So there is my final answer. All right, I hope this helps you.